I met a Gypsy.
And then, so what's the progression from there? Like, and so then you built the Queensland Championships track.
Yeah.
And then what was the reaction when people started coming from all over the
what happened?
country?
They really liked that track. And one person, well, I didn't know who it was, but he was the head of the Australian Mountain Bike Association, going, we really like this, and we're thinking about getting a Grundig World Cup to Australia. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't even know what Grundig was. It's a electronic brand from Germany, I think, and they were sponsoring World Cup. So I didn't know what a World Cup was. We'd have these magazines of people racing, but we didn't really.
So what year would this have been?
92.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 92. So they're saying, look, Australia's been looking at getting a World Cup, but because Australia is out of sync with the rest of the world, as in, winter here is summer over there.
Yeah.
So to have a summer race, the summer series, the international, like between Europe and America, Europe and North America,
would have to be
summer.
in Australia's winter.
Exactly. And can you do it in Australia in winter?
Cairns.
The place
still has
that's
no
what they
winter.
were battling on, and everybody goes, why didn't they bring the World Cups to Thredbo or Mount Buller? Well, because it's bloody winter.
Yeah,
So that's when they started looking, and when they saw that.
Were you still sign riding at that time?
Oh, yeah.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
For you to have those two different types of, obviously that was your income, your bread and butter, and then obviously this comes along.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's what the bank manager said.
Yeah.
But what it is your mind, there's a thing that you have to do to make money.
Definitely.
And there's a thing that we're talking about procrastination and stuff like that. That's why procrastination exists.
Yeah.
Because you're actually pushing against what you don't really.
Yeah, there's a fight going on between what you want to do and what you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Well, what's desire? They say desire is a contract you make to unhappiness until you obtain what it is you're desiring.
Yeah, right.
I don't think I said that wrong.
No,
but it's true. Like, it makes so much fucking sense.
And subconsciously too.
Yeah.
Well, even just to sidestep that a little bit, is in the early days of riding, we couldn't work out why mountain biking was so good. We couldn't work out why it made you feel so fucking good. All your problems, as soon as you got on a bike, all your problems went away. Everything, bank manager and all the things, that shit that goes on in your life day to day.
And you're present. It's like...
Yeah, well, that's what we thought. And it's really close to that.
Yeah.
And that's what we did think. But then later on, you think about it, it's actually, you haven't got time to think about anything.
Yeah.
If you're not focusing on where that front tire is going, you're on the ground.
Yeah.
So you're fully focused. Like, mountain biking is different to, say, road cycling.
No, it's full on.
Depending on the trail you are and how fast you're going and stuff like that, but you really have to know where you're going.
Yeah.
You have to be aware of what you're doing on a bike, on a trail, and that brings you into the moment straight away.
Incredible.
And they talk. What do they call it? A sense of flow,
absorbed flow. They call
absorbed
that.
flow.
Man, remember it was it was years ago. It was when Ricky's mum was crook, and I was up, and I stayed at home for those few months, and we were doing heaps of riding. I had like a legit out of body experience riding slipperies that day. It was the first time I'd rode it. I think I rode it when I was younger, but like I couldn't remember it. And I'd been riding a bit, so I wanted to have a crack. And I remember riding this trail and like fully having like an out of body experience because of exactly what you just said. I was concentrating so fucking much on that track because it's literally 10-minute run of just roots. Crazy roots everywhere, and it's in a thick canopy, so it's always
and that
slippery and wet. And I got down the bottom of it, and Glenn popped out, and we were sort of talking, and I was like, fully had to catch up with what just happened because like it was one of the most crazy experiences of just like being out of body. And it wasn't until I started doing jiu-jitsu that I would have that over, like I do. That's every time for me now when I do jiu-jitsu, like because it's so like someone's trying to joke you. So you've got to be on your fucking P's and Q's. But yeah, I remember that trail particularly, that feeling. I was just like, wow, that's what happens. You're gone. Like you just leave the reservation because you can't do anything other than try not to die.
And if that's happening on a daily basis, what you do on a daily basis to make money, if that's not like that, which one are you going to lean to?
Yeah.
It's not always going to work right for a lot of people. you just, that you've got to have a way of monetarizing it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but not in a greedy way. You've just got to make
Make
how
it work.
how to make this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're not asking yourself that question. Your subconscious is asking you
100%.
that question. It's like how do we make this work? And again, things get thrown out, ahead of you. Like a cast net. Little cast nets get thrown out, and they pull in little things, and all of a sudden, a couple of years later, you're going down that road. So. What was the question?
The first, the Queensland.
Yeah, well, I guess and then back further was like when you sort of started to see a vision of like, when this could actually kind of be a thing,
No, it was about the UCI bringing a world.
World champs. So
you went way back.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
No, but that was so. Anyway, they rode a trail. They rode trails that they thought this would be great, and I remember the guy said, I can see John Tomac, and I can see Giuliano Furtado riding these trails. He said, it gives me goosebumps even thinking about it, that they could be riding in Australia on these trails. And within a year, we're in France and at the World Championship, seeing how all this thing worked, and within another, that was September, and within another 6 months, we had a World Cup in Cairns.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.